I certainly can introduce myself. I'm Sarah Morris, and I'm at White Cube Mason's Yard. The title of the show is Snow Leopards and Skyscrapers. And so the title comes from Peter Matheson's The Snow Leopard, but I liked the idea of positioning the snow leopard in an urban landscape, or thinking again about this idea of the image or the corporate elusive structure. So in this show, Snow Leopards and Skyscrapers, we've got entities that are in existence and are part of the military-industrial complex. We have entities that shaped the 2016 elections, both in America and also in Brazil. Those are ones we know of. And I'm speaking of Cambridge Analytica, I'm speaking of Palantir. Behind me, we have Bank of China, which is enormous as a painting, but also enormous as a force, a capital force. We have Johnson & Johnson, we have Eli Lilly, we have pharmaceutical sort of giants, we have BlackRock, which is sort of an umbrella organization, an umbrella financial institution that actually owns so many different corporations, it's impossible to list. I take the compositions from all different types of things, whether it's a matchbook design from the Four Seasons, like a very famous matchbook design, whether it's the elevator bank of the Four Seasons, which is also there. I think of the Palantir logo disintegrating. I think of Morse code. I think of the antennas on top of the Bank of China that look like a caterpillar. I think of, how to make the most streamlined conversation with the viewer. Midtown, I had always wanted to make film. And lots of my friends made film when I was at college. I always wanted to make a film which was sort of like functioned like a condensed manifesto for what I wanted my work to be about, and also this idea of images as propaganda. But I always thought about the idea of a rapid series of images of place that could somehow map out and become my set of references for the paintings, for what I had made and what I planned to make. The film becomes like a bit of a map. My brother told me, who was in film, told me, a news crew would be better than a normal film crew because like a news crew can work faster and be more flexible and nimble. And so I just had sort of a sheet of paper, which is just a series of literal streets and corners and names of entities. And that became the sort of literal location list. And we tried to get through as many of them as we could possibly do in a single day. Art is a form of trespassing. All art, all great art is a form of trespassing. And I think most artists have that inside of them, the desire to, trespass against authority, the desire to not respect the boundaries that are sort of given to us. So that idea of like the camera violating that was something that I thought was sort of funny, that they were aware of how to get around it. Chris talks about many things in his stand-up. What's interesting to me is not necessarily the content, it's the desire to talk back. It's that sort of what we all have, which is this interior voice that helps us navigate the present, helps us navigate as we go through this space. I think the public and the artist is fully aware that the forces of power are conspiratorial. They are completely manifest. They are spoken about all the time, and we're all aware of them. And we're also aware that the powers that be, these conspiratorial powers, let's call them corporations on some level, these are all male-encoded we're talking about men, really. We're talking about a group of men, and we're talking about really how they envision society. And I'm not really sure that they view things as that there's a social form. And I think what I'm trying to do with these paintings is try to picture what would the social form be right now. Like, how can we make an argument for the idea of society? How can we make an argument for the idea of a social form that goes beyond these entities and this group of men?